All right, so I figured it out. Rookie mistake. You guys probably already got it. But yeah, so this is an exponent. These are exponents. So y and y plus 1 are exponents. Everything else is they're, being multiplied or added or divided. So let's go back to that. So the y, it's not times years. It's going to be exponent years. And this is going to be exponent. And then years plus 1 we're going to put in parenthesis. Let's make sure we get it right. Principal, which is annual contribution, times 1 plus APR to the y power plus this. And then those are all parenthesized. 1 plus, actually that's going to be C, which is contribution. Oh, excuse me, that was correct. So plus annual contribution times. So here we're going to, so PEMDAS will keep this separate until all of this is done, which is exactly what we want. So then that's going to be to the years plus 1 power. Okay, so let's try it again. All right, so this is so I'm doing these videos too because there's a lot of math, and even though it's not, a lot of it isn't like super ridiculously hard, math, especially early on. I'm pretty sure it's going to get harder as far as logic and loops and math and banging your head against the wall and trying to, write off the pseudocode or write off the algorithm, like, and it starts with, the formulas and making sure that you know the notation, the original math notation, and then you can translate that into Python, and then we can see about writing the program correctly. So yeah, so let's last time I did a new file, and I X this out, that way I don't close idle, and then I open this, and then we go to future value. So let's open it, and we got that there. So let's hopefully got this right. Let's run it. All right, so now let's check out this formula, and we're going to go to we're going to go to compound interest, the calculator. Yeah, here we go. So let's try it. Let's do 1,000, 0.08. Oh, no. Let's do 9 again. I think it's like 15 grand in that camp. One time annually at the start of each compounding period. Yeah, 1545.57. Okay, so let's do the same thing here. Annual rate is going to be 0.08, 9, 15,485. Bam, we got it. All right, very cool. So obviously later on in the book it's going to explain, and I would try a whole bunch. I highly recommend, like, using this calculator, this online calculator, or another calculator that you have. You could also use like a TI, an actual TI calculator. I used a TI 85 for a long time, or TI 89 for a long time. It got me all the way through college, from like, late middle school or early high school. But use the resources around. Now we've got these websites, which is great. So yeah, and just try, plugging in different numbers. Try 10 times, see how it looks, and see how it prints out. And then things that you don't like based on the representation, the output and whatnot, like, just keep that in mind. Like, can I fix it now? based on what I've already learned in this book or in this class. If not, if it's totally new, you can either ask your teacher if it's okay if you do a little extra credit, extra work, and introduce a new, a way to truncate, or you could try to surprise your educator and but you don't always know how an educator is going to respond in terms of like surprising them. My guess is that almost every single one would not count you down, might not give you extra points. Like if you miss some essentials in your program, even if you've got some extra stuff that you showed, like how to round this down to the nearest hundredth and all of that, even if you didn't learn it in the book, in the book and or the lectures, in that class or in this in where you weren't supposed to know this information yet, I don't think you probably get docked. So it's all about strategy. I mean, it's like anything else in life, right? It's strategy. So you want to have a strategy with regards to trying to garner a solid mark. It's like trying to it's similar traits, similar traits to trying to get a promotion or trying to get a better job, or to fill in the blank in real time. Or a relationship, or living situation. I mean, there's you've got to keep in mind. It sounds like it sounds kind of like when saying it out loud in English, it probably sounds a little bit like almost like sinister, but it's really not. I mean, strategy, like the word agenda, like that sounds like it's negative, but I think everyone sort of has an agenda in the sense of things that they're looking for out of a certain meeting or out of a certain um, you know class, or out of a certain decision or relationship or whatnot. I mean, you have goals, you have wants, you have needs, you have so that's, but I think that a lot of these words, they end up getting loaded, and so I think not to go too far off topic, but just to bring it back to being a student and working with educators, you I always kept in mind like that notion of how they perceive me, and so in terms of showing my work and circling the answers and trying to just to take notes in class and to pay attention, ask questions once in a while if you think it's a if you think it's the right time to ask that question, um, and sometimes I crack some jokes and whatnot. It wasn't like I was like a robot, to keep it light and whatnot, but it's definitely a strategy, to try to garner high marks. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. So yeah, you might, in your own code, you might want to do some research, or you might already know, and you might put this in the program. But I normally would sort of, here's what I would do. I would actually try to do the program beforehand, a day or two, a couple days beforehand. Then I would try to meet the teacher or the professor at their office hours, um, and or in before it's due, and then I would show them the code, like either print it out or bring in your laptop that's already set up and charged, and then the monitor is already set up, and maybe you've got it open up in your you've got Atom opened up, um, or your shell, and then you can just let him look at it, and then if he says anything about, oh well, I don't want you to have this, I don't want you guys to use anything that you haven't learned yet, you know, um, for this class or whatnot, then you don't include it. So I would rather know, or you could risk a little and try to surprise them and impress them a little bit. I think if you go overboard, I don't think that they're gonna like that. I think most educators would not like that. If you just go overboard and you have all these new, like if you went over for loops, but you didn't go over while loops, and then your program you use all while loops, I don't think that that's going to bode well for your grade. But if you learned all this stuff like for loops and this and that, and then you put it in for loops, and you put comments, and you put the and you got everything, and you wrote the introduction, and you followed the instructions, but then you also decided to do one little thing like this you learned ahead of time and all that, I think that you're going to get, you know, some brownie points, even if it's not represented in your grade. Even if it doesn't help your grade, I think your teacher's going to like know that you're winking at him or winking at her and saying, "Look, I'm trying hard." But it's got to be a flourish. It's got to be like a garnish. It can't be like the main course where you're just going all out. Um, you know, but again, I think it depends on the venue. But I think in the student educator venue, that you know, you want to just keep that relationship in mind, where they're trying to teach you new stuff, and you're trying to share with them and really get good at that material. It's you know, it's mainly about, you know, spend a lot of time with the for loops. Like, get really good at for loops and know exactly what can you put in there. What are, legal keywords that will work, and the interpreter will, you know, interpret just fine. And then what are illegal keywords, and why are they illegal? And so they want you to spend a lot of time getting really, really, really good at what they're teaching for that module or that chapter. And they know there's plenty of time later when things get harder and down the road, that you know, for you to integrate these new processes, like truncating a long decimal, or rounding off to the nearest tenth or the nearest hundredth. You know, the nearest hundredth obviously to be for dollars and cents and whatnot. So but for right now, let's just like leave it how it is. I think it won't be an issue. Let's make sure there's a dollar sign. So this is going to be, so what I want to do is I'll make this a dollar sign, and then I'll make this a plus sign. And then so we'll go here. And then since we're in this program right now, actually we're not going to restart it, right? But let's see if they'll let us restart it. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll do what I did before. New file, close this, open, and I always run it. I always run it. You always got to see. I never assume like this. Oh no, this is still a comma. Even though we closed it. So then we'll go back here, save as future value.py. Let's replace it. See, sometimes there's little hiccups, and then I feel like it's like a user error, but then there's something I don't know about, you know, idle and atom and stuff. So let's try something else. Let's try new file again. Then we'll close this again. We'll open, because then that won't close idle. Open this. 18. There it is. Okay, cool. There's the dollar sign. Okay, cool. Now we know we got that right. Let's run it. All right, so it's gonna be 1,000, 9 years, 8%. Let's see. Look at that. There we go. Let's check it out. All right. 1,000. 0.089. Bam. There it is. 15,485.567. Yeah, so very cool. That was the rest of number 6 on page 54, chapter 2, writing sample programs. And the next one we'll do number 7. All right, thanks a lot.